Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Symbio Online Innovation Day. In this presentation, we are going to present you our news around Plötz & Zeller and Symbio. My name is Julia Dürscheid, and I'm the Plötz & Zeller Marketing Manager. So if you have any questions or suggestions regarding marketing, so don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you. This is our agenda for the Online Innovation Day. First of all, I'm going to present you our company news. After that, I will give the hand over Ansgar Meyer. He will present you our newest features in Symbio. After his release notes overview, he will switch into Symbio and give you an insight into the several features. Last but not least, the next steps for you. First of all, I'll tell you something about the latest news of Plötz & Zeller. There was the 7th Innovation Day. It was not online, it was our yearly company event in Munich for our customers and partners. From the 7th to the 19th September, we were exhibiting at the GNU Annual Congress. And besides our existing partners, we have a new partner. It's the leading service provider in the area of process mining, Solanas. And our last news, Plötz & Zeller keeps the Microsoft Gold partnership. Our 7th Innovation Day. We had a very successful 7th Innovation Day in Munich. The main part of the event was made up of lectures and workshops. We had very interesting topics and motivated speakers. We had talks about the customer journey, how you can rethink processes, the SAP automated solution documentation, and variant management in a global environment. After every presentation, we had an interactive workshop on the same topic, and our participants also took the opportunity to inform themselves about the latest features at the Symbio station. The end of our event was our barbecue, where we reviewed the impressions of the day. Here you can see some pictures of the Innovation Day. You have a full picture gallery on our website, and you can also see videos and presentations of our speaker, and you can watch them on YouTube as well. The DSAG Annual Congress in Nuremberg. The DSAG Annual Congress is the main event of the DSAG, the German SAP user group, and we were exhibitor this year. The Congress took place under the motto of promoting digital change in companies, because the change cannot always be implemented as quickly as initially planned. So the question is, how can companies overcome the obstacles of automation? And process integration is an essential step towards automation. In order to continue to achieve this goal, an ideal interaction between idea and implementation is required. So with Symbio, we promote process integration. You can model processes simply and use our interfaces to the SAP Solman, SAP Enable Now, and Jira. So we can say it was a very successful Congress for us. Our new partnership with Solanas. Solanas is the leading service provider in the area of process mining. And in the next weeks and months, we are working together on several projects in the areas of BPM and process mining. And on the right side, you can see Oliver Zeller and A colleague from Solanas at the last day of the DSAG Annual Congress, where Solanas supported us. News about projects with Solanas you can find on our website in the future. The last topic is the Microsoft Gold status. Our company retains the status MS Gold Partner in the competence application development. With that certification, we demonstrate our outstanding skills in a specific area of Microsoft solutions. In our case, it's the application development. We have gold status since 2013, and yeah, of course, we strive for partnerships in further competencies. So the important question is, what does this certification mean for you as our customer? Microsoft supports us as Gold Partner, and this knowledge enables us to guarantee high quality of our products and services. Because we are audited regularly, the knowledge is secured permanently for you as our customers. So now we are turning to our Symbio features.
Hello and welcome everybody. In the next few minutes, you're going to see the latest Symbio features. And I'm really excited to present you some fancy features we have. For example, an additional view you can have when setting up processes. So let's have a look at the first new feature. We call it the showing of global objects in a process flow. Let's actually jump into the system immediately, showing you the end product of it, and then I'm going to show you how to set it up. So here you see a modeled sub-process in the vertical swim lane view. You're all familiar with that one. And the showing global objects view would be the following one. You see when I go to the toolbar and change the graph, in this case to global objects, you see there's a additional view building up, and it shows you both all global objects, as we call it, so all objects supporting the process in addition to the process flow itself. So it gives you both the flow and the object at one glance. And you can then, for example, use this picture as a printout, for example. And you can display this particular view also with the general process views you already know at this stage, like the horizontal, the vertical, the detailed, or the swim lane view, for example. So let's show you how to set this one up. So you need to have admin rights in order to set up a new fact sheet. So let's just jump into the admin area of the system, going to the fact sheets. And by the way, the one you've just seen here is the selected one. Let's just set up a totally new one via new, and let's just call it show global objects. So the first settings you would do now in relation to the whole fact sheet is in the detail content that you inform or tell the system you would like to have the diagram embedded. Also, it should be applicable for the sub-process type. Also, we would like to see it with the general vertical flow diagram. Beside that, you would add a list widget, and you can define the width then here, as you know already. Also, here under list width settings, you can, for example, reduce the number here to 8. And then very importantly, it says here valid for related type. Now you need to tell the system that you would like to show the global dependencies. So you just select this one out of the drop-down menu. So let's just double check the detail content for the fact sheet as a whole. So it should be relevant for sub-processes. We embed it into the vertical view. And the list widget itself, maybe we can also extend the width here to 8. And we have valid it, or we have related it to the type global dependencies. Also, we would like to group the objects per column. Okay, so let's just go back into the process itself. So here was the previous one I showed you, and now the new one looks like this one. So it's called show global objects. Let's go back to the sub-process. And we now should have here an additional fact sheet called show global objects. And you see it looks exactly the same as the one before. So that's the way how to set it up. Let's move on. Let's actually go back to the overview of the new release features. So the second one is the acceleration of the graphical modeling. So I'm jumping into the system directly. Just I'm give you some background information of it. Now at this stage, when you create or change repository objects while modeling, there is no automatic graphical update of the process model. Okay. The idea behind this is that it improves the performance significantly, especially for complex processes. Another advantage is the opportunity that you as a user can add or maintain repository objects in a quicker way as before, as the detailing of the process is no longer interrupted by the automatic graphical updates. So let's just jump into one process. Let's actually stay with this one here. I'm just moving to a other view. So for example, when I add a additional process task here, and let's just say we call it categorize ideas. You might remember in the past, now the task would automatically integrate the name you maintain in the detail content. So you see it's no longer applicable, this principle. Also, you see when I would add here a informed role, it is not automatically updated in the graphical flow. However, when you go to the toolbar and actively refresh the graph, you see now it shows you the latest information you have maintained in the detail content. So you decide yourself whenever you would like to update the graph, and just bear in mind, no automatic graphical updates are done with this new feature. So you proactively refresh the graph yourself. One information on top of that, obviously it's not applicable to the adding or removal of tasks, because adding and removing tasks have consequences to the whole process structure. So it's just relevant for updates you do in the detail content. Let's move back to the overview. The next feature is the management of favorites. So you all know for many versions you can already define favorites. Now you can set up groups. So let's have a look how this works in the system. When I go to the favorites here, you see I can click on this hyperlink, and now I get a new window, and you see I can define groups. For example, one group could be called documents, a other one standards, and a third one maybe systems. Okay, so now we have 3 groups. And then let's just say if you go to the documents view and select one individual document, for example the company guideline, and you see if you would like to maintain it or define it as a favorite, you see you then have a dialog in front of you where you can define the group where it should be moved. For example, this company guideline should be under the in the documents group, obviously. So let's just define that. According to the same principle, you can go to the systems and, for example, add the Cleverage system to the group of systems. and so on and so on. And then as a end product, when you have the small window here on the top right of the browser, you see a nice overview of all the groups and the individual objects you have moved into that group. Just some background information on that. So you can obviously also move favorites to several groups. You can also copy and move them. Also within the group, you can sort your favorites according to your own wishes. So for example, if I select one more system and move it into the group, you see now when I go to the general overview of the groups, in the systems group, I have two individual systems, and you see I can also move the order of them. All right, so that's the grouping of favorites. Let's move on. Let's just go back to the overview again. The next feature is the skill feature. So with the new object skills, you can manage company-specific skills. You could just create a qualification list and provide the competencies required for your organization. And then in the end, you can link these skills to your positions or roles. So let's just have a look how that works into the system. So I would move to the organization. And you see here in the sub-navigation, you can dive into the list of skills. And for example, a skill in your organization could be via new, you can define it, that you work with the graphical editor in Symbio. So you define it, now it's part here of the list. On the right in the detail content, you can then detail it. You see, for example, here under details, you can say it is, for example, relevant for the application Symbio, obviously. So via the burger, you can just have a look at the Symbio system in your database. Let's just search for it. Also, for example, the training you need to do in order to get that skill could be a e-learning where, for example, the graphical editor here is shown. So let's just also maintain this piece. So as you wish, just applicable or according to the requirements, you manage the skills in your organization. You can provide information to that skill. And then last but not least, when I jump into the roles, going to a role which should have this skill, for example, the Symbio architect, the end product is that you would then here under required skill, for example, go to the expert level and then link the skill I have just set up 2 minutes ago with the role. So that's how you can bind skills with your roles and also with your positions. Just in order, for example, for staff planning or for new customer projects. Okay, that's it. Let's move back to the overview. So beside that, there's just some additional things I would like to tell you, which will be part of the system very soon. So let's have a look at the export of the process portal. So going forward, you have the possibility to export your whole database. So meaning you can then use it offline on your PC. You can use the export, for example, for long-term archiving or for forwarding it to a external auditor, for example. The end product is the following. You would just have then all data combined into one file, and the end product is that you have just a browser application which then works with the locally exported files. And you can just unzip the file and put it somewhere on a shared place, and you might then do the export just on a bi-weekly basis, for example, or a monthly basis. Also, we have here a new feature. We call it the permissions for the user role architect. So that means that we kind of distribute the competencies of the role architect to different users for individual areas, meaning we kind of flexibly also add more competencies to the author, as the author can now be authorized to create, update, or even approve or delete main process, but however, just in their area of their responsibility, obviously. So maybe the end product could be that a individual author can maintain and change data in a particular main process in his or her department. So we kind of flexibly can reshuffle the competencies of a architect also to a author. And then finally, the Visio import. So the plan is that VSDX files created with Microsoft Visio can be imported into Symbio very easily. You would just upload then a Visio file via drag and drop, and then you do the mapping of the objects yourself, meaning the objects you used for the modeling in Visio needs to be mapped with the Symbio objects, and then the end product is the general Symbio process you know at this stage. Good. And then last but not least, also over the last few weeks, we did many optimizations, bug fixings, and performance related things just in order to provide you with a very powerful system. Thank you for having watched this video. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Ansgar. What are the next steps for you? We have some ideas. If you have any questions about our features, about the release notes or other topics, please do not hesitate to contact us. You can contact your Platz&Zeller consultant, or you can use our info email address. Sign up for our Platz&Zeller newsletter. You can watch this video again on our website, or the link is included in our newsletter or on YouTube as well. You can talk with us about projects and plans with Solanas, the DSAG, GNU Congress, any other news. Follow us on our channels. This video is listed on YouTube, and we have many other interesting videos for you. For example, Symbio tutorials or other presentations of our speakers from the Innovation Days. All company news we post on Xing and LinkedIn. So thanks for watching, goodbye, and see you soon.